Ben Johnson versus Mike Tomlin. Greg Braggs versus the world. Hoge, Halas Hall, Bears, Steelers, playoffs. The CHGO Bears Podcast starts right now. The fun starts now. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast, and there you see it. That's right, Ben Johnson, Mike Tomlin. You won't be smiling after Sunday, Mike. I say that with massive respect to one of the NFL's greats. Hey, the CHGO Bears Podcast, proudly presented by our friends at Bet365. Never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, deposit $10, make a bet for $5, and you get $150 in bonus bets that you can take to the moon, and your whole financial life will hopefully change because you're just that good of a football, basketball, baseball, whatever gambler. All right, welcome into Ben Johnson Wednesday. We got a ton of Ben Johnson to play. Gregory P. Allen Braggs. The P stands for cutting a million clips before the show today, like the professional that he is. And now tweeting away and doing a million things. Hi, Gregory.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're moving and shaking. Bears, get your pressers back to noon.
Yeah.
This 12:25 crap.
No, that's fine. You guys want to...
No, Ben.
Oh, he's right. Yeah. Back to noon.
Well,
Come on.
You want to challenge
consistency.
You want to challenge this show, though. We're up for the task. And I've been working very hard today, consuming this content, tweeting out this content. And the guy who was on the ground for us, as always, on Wednesday, let's bring him in from Halas Hall. The one and only Adam Hoge, who's wearing his fall wear today. Looks very fall-y today with your button coat, Hoge, professional, hair's looking strong. Everything about you is amazing right now. Congratulations.
Thank you. Phenomenal intro. I appreciate it. Ben, I am fine with whatever schedule you want to put out there as long as the Bears keep winning games. And also it helped my schedule today as I talked to our guys over at PHLY around 11 o'clock. I don't know if I would have made the presser on time. So I actually think he moved it back for me. So I appreciate that.
Hey, whatever Ben wants, Ben gets. The man's 7-3. This team was 0-2. They're in first place. You do whatever you want to do, Ben Johnson. No quibbles from us here at CHGO Bears, and we appreciate you taking the time to answer our questions, which, by the way, Hoge, congratulations. You led off the press conference today as far as I could tell. We were doing our own interview. You were the first question today, right? We did.
I was, yeah, barely. I was also the guy running in there late and probably blocking the camera. And then nobody said anything, so I just jumped in. It was, sometimes you just got to take advantage of the opportunity.
People get cold feet. They don't want to fire away. And I was going to ask your question on Friday. I actually wimped out, so I left it for you on Monday, and you cleaned it up. With you've been paying attention to the middle eight, the last two possessions of the first half and the first two possessions of the second half. Should we play the answer before you respond to it? Why don't we do that? We got that, Steven? We're ready? Okay, so here comes Hoge leading off the press conference today like we do at CHGO, damn it.
Well, I know during the bye week, when I looked at the first four games, I actually felt pretty good in those first four games of how we were scoring points before halftime and how we were coming out of half on both sides of the ball. Since the bye week, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I have not felt that same level of success. So that's something that we can improve on. I know we've had a number of opportunities on offense to score some points before halftime, and we haven't gotten that job done. It's been a while since we've done that. And then defensively, I feel like we've given up just a few, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown before half as well. Like I said, I got to go back and look at it, but that's an area that I think it was a couple games ago. It was the Giants, right? They doubled up on us. They scored before half, and then after, and so that's how games can go sideways in a hurry. Is when you look up and 17-7, and then it's tied up real quick. So something that we can improve on, no doubt.
Answer, Adam Hoge.
Yeah. So I mean, look, he. the good news is the Bears won the middle eight this time around. I'm going to give them credit for the field goal they got. It was kind of a weird middle eight because not every – there's got to be some subjectivity to this, but if you look at – so the Bears basically got 2 possessions at the end of the second quarter off interceptions. They got those back-to-back interceptions. The first one they turned into a field goal. You'd ideally like to get a touchdown there. They got a field goal. Then the defense got another interception, and the Bears went 3 and out. They had another opportunity. They only got the ball back with 35 seconds, but they went 3 and out. They ended up punting it. But then they came out at halftime with the ball and got another field goal. So technically, I'm going to include both of those possessions before halftime because the defense got you an extra possession. You deserve that. So they technically won this one 6-0. That being said, you'd still like to get a touchdown, right, in one of those possessions and do a little bit better. So it wasn't disastrous by any means. And updating my numbers from last week, they're now 3-5-2 in winning the middle eight this season, -7 point differential overall. Last 5 games, they're now 1-4. They had been on that 4-game stretch where they were really struggling, -34 point differential a week ago. So they improved that to now -28. Ben obviously saying there he hadn't really looked at it. If he watches CHGO Bears, now he can save himself some time. I just did it for him. The point is, a little bit better this week. I still think it could be an area where the Bears kind of put their foot on the gas and put some of these teams away in a way where this doesn't – I love that they keep winning these games in the final 2 minutes, but it would also be nice to have one of these weeks where it's they're cruising in the fourth quarter.
Well, I mean, and I know I asked you this last week, and I could have very easily done this research myself, but I don't do research. You do research, and so
you do research. Don't you? Yes, you do.
One of my questions was how many times of those games did the Bears kick off to start the game versus taking the ball in the second half? I didn't know if you were able to get those numbers for me, but all I know is in this last game, they got the ball to start the second half, which as somebody that has played Madden my whole life and everybody else that's played Madden their whole life, you always take the ball to start the second half. There's no gray area there. You never kick the ball off to start the game.
Okay, I don't really totally agree with that. You got to factor in wind and other things and who you're playing, the defense you're playing, all that. But I get you. No, I did not look all that up, so I'm the worst and I failed.
No, it's fine.
Also, I'm counting both teams' possessions, though. Even though the Bears got the ball first to start the third quarter, I am also counting the Vikings' first possession of the third quarter as well in this match. So the Bears stopped them; they didn't score there, so that's a good thing.
Okay.
All right. I mean, this is a great job by Hoge, phenomenal research, and it is, I think, an interesting little coaching point, like how he goes about it. So it's a great question for Ben Johnson. And in the grand scheme of things, too, here, it could end up that the Bears win the Super Bowl this year because they hone in on the middle eight in ways that they haven't honed in because Hoge brought it up. That's what I'm saying.
Right. I was going to say because he said in that answer he hasn't looked at it since the bye week, so maybe this will force him to look at it. Bears get better, win the Super Bowl, CHGO gets a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah. Well, and
just one.
It was very nice of Ben to say that he'll actually go back and do something because you asked in the middle of being as busy as Ben is, which is that's a hell of a compliment to you. Hey, why don't we hear from Ben on Cairo Santos, and because Jake Moody is out the door now, and it's all Cairo all the time, and he was asked what he likes about Cairo, what he appreciates about him. So we actually have a 2-parter on the kicker because, damn it, you hit a game winner to get to 7-3. You get a 2-part little Cairo here. So let's hear it, Ben. What do you like about Cairo?
Well, I think when you get voted captain by your peers, I think that says a lot. We had a number of really good special teams players, and yet he was the one that got the most votes to be special teams captain. And when you see how they react in the locker room to him receiving a game ball or making one of those game-winning kicks, I think it's pretty special. So when he talks, they listen. He's been around this league for a long time, and I think he's been a really good influence for our special teams unit in general.
So I don't know if anybody gets this reference, but E.F. Hutton, when people talk that you listen, that's like a commercial from 1984. Maybe Jay Zawoski might remember an E.F. Hutton. Probably nobody else does. But that's a nice little compliment for Cairo right there. Before you react, Hoge, I want to play part 2 here. Because there's somebody on the show that doesn't trust Cairo. So, Ben, do you trust Cairo? Because Greg Braggs doesn't, and probably some other Bears fans too.
Well, I think the experience level with him gives you a good feel for his track record, and I think you kind of know what you're going to get. Like I said after the game last week, is you get a really good feel going into that game with how they're kicking in pregame, and so that helps build some confidence of what we feel comfortable with putting them in certain situations, and I think he's done a really nice job since he came back healthy.
So there you go, Gregory. Cairo Santos. He feels confident.
Yeah. Go ahead, Hoge.
Well, I think actions speak louder than words, and the reality is he missed that field goal the other day, and they didn't flinch. I mean, they weren't in a hurry. They were bleeding the clock down more towards the end. They had to come up with that big run, which they did. Thankfully, that was a huge play, but he ran the ball. It's not like they tried to pick up 20 yards. And the game winner was longer than the one that they missed. So obviously, despite the miss, they all felt like they didn't have to adjust Cairo's number. They felt comfortable that he would make the correction he did. Wasn't the prettiest kick of all time, but it went through. And I think just the way they handled that situation at the end of the game answers that question, more than even anything Ben Johnson could say in his press conference today.
That's a great way of putting it. Actions do speak louder than words, and the Bears ran the ball to set up Cairo, and Cairo came through, which does give us an opportunity to shout out the Adam Johns piece on the offensive line, because it's not just a trust in Cairo there. It's also a trust that on 3rd and long, they would actually open up some space for DeAndre Swift to get you out of a 55-yard field goal and down to a 48. So Johnsy did a phenomenal job. We'll obviously talk to him tomorrow, but people should be a diehard. Use that code JAHNS for $36 for the diehard special offer, and you can read his piece on the O-line today, which was phenomenal. Did you learn anything on there, Hoge, that you didn't know? Because I learned about 800 things that I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of different things. I mean, I think one of the more interesting parts to me was and this is something I think we did know, but it's good to highlight, and I think also brings insight into why Declan Doyle is here. Like, that was one of the key parts to me that I felt like I learned or relearned or whatever, is this idea. Like, Ben Johnson was a tight ends coach. That is where the passing game and the run game merge at that position, because you have to do both as a tight end. You have to run routes, you have to block, you have to know everything that goes into the pass concepts and everything that goes into the run concepts as a tight end and as a tight ends coach, especially as you're teaching that room. And Declan Doyle was the same thing for Sean Payton in Denver. And then Declan's talking about how when he was on the Iowa staff, literally everyone on that staff, not literally everyone, but pretty much everyone that mattered on that staff had an offensive line background, former O-line coaches. And so you put all this together and you understand why Ben Johnson put this staff together the way that they did, and how much of an emphasis, how much this really matters, not just in like simple terms of, hey, we need a better O-line, we need to block better, but the actual run schemes and the faith and belief to know that you got to go to 7-yard run, and you don't know what it's going to hit for, obviously, but you in that moment on Sunday realize, all right, we're on the fringe of field goal range. We really need to pick up probably at least 5 yards here, ideally. And you go to one of your bread and butter run plays, and everybody's on the same page, and you come up clutch. I mean, it's not as sexy as a big time Caleb Williams throw in that everybody looks at it as like a clutch play. But for those offensive linemen and those tight ends and that running back carrying the rock, like that's as clutch as it gets, and they feel really good about that right now.
Yeah, on the topic of Declan Doyle, Tom Pelissero of NFL Network put out a piece naming his 24 young candidates to know for the 2026 NFL head coaching hiring cycle and beyond. And of the 24 names, Declan Doyle was one of those names. So it's going to be interesting here going forward as all the success the Bears are having on offense and how the league kind of looks at this coaching staff.
Gotta love Double D. He's got a chance to get there one of these days. Hey, hit the like button for Hoge. Hit the like button for Declan Doyle. Hit the like button for Cairo. Ben Johnson on this fine Monday. Yeah, we can. I guess we'll do a little bit more here, but Hoge, we haven't mentioned Kyler Gordon. Is now in the 21-day window to return. That was the big news of the day. And we'll play a little bit coming up here on CJ Gardner-Johnson and the impact that Kyler could have potentially on him coming back. It sounds like they're going to try to keep them both on the field as much as they can. But I'm assuming you were not surprised by the Kyler news today?
Not surprised. I wasn't totally sure if it would happen. Of course, they activated Jalen on Friday, right? So you don't necessarily know which day it is. And but I think by doing it on a Wednesday, you kind of put him more on a track where I guess you can't rule him out this week. Seems a little early. Again, now the schedule being different today, they're literally going out there on the practice field right now. Actually, as we're speaking, practice is starting. So I don't have eyes on Kyler yet. I don't have eyes on Jalen yet. We'll see what these guys look like, how much they actually practice. It feels like, maybe next week or even that Packer game after that would be more realistic, especially for Jalen Johnson. But the truth is, I don't know right now. It's just a good sign that both of these guys are getting back out there on the practice field. And I think the question is just how it has more to do with how the Bears handle this, what the level of urgency is versus making sure that they're out there the rest of the season once they come back and there are not any more setbacks for either of these guys.
Yeah, maybe hit the like button if you want the Bears to be patient with bringing Kyler back. But over here, Gregory, before we do our first, you want to make a prediction, I think, that Jalen perhaps will be here this Sunday.
Well, Steven, if you look in production Slack, I sent you a picture here of Jalen Johnson and some of the, off-site trainers that he works with, and he posted this. Bears fans, they're always on the prowl for some of the detective work to try to figure out when some of these guys might return, and this was on yesterday's Instagram. Here, I believe the handle, help me out, Steven, at the top, it says Foot Doctor, just to make sure we give proper credit.
_Mo.
Yeah.
Foot Doctor _Mo.
Yeah, Foot Doctor _Mo is on Instagram, and he posted this video of Jalen Johnson working out with the caption, "He's ready." So, between Jalen practicing last week, window getting open, now he's still out there this week. I feel like Jalen Johnson might play here on Sunday. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like he's closer than even Kyler Gordon is to returning. And maybe I'm getting ahead of my skis, and maybe it makes more sense for the Eagles game because you have the extended rest for Packers. But I don't know. There's something in my gut that's telling me Jalen Johnson's going to play on Sunday. Am I crazy?
No, I mean, Foot Doctor Mo said so. So we are he's back.
This is somebody that works with Jalen. This isn't just some random Foot Doctor Mo.
No, this is
respect the Mo. This ain't Mo Sislak from The Simpsons. This is Foot Doctor Mo, who garners the respect he deserves.
No, I don't think anyone's ever known that Mo's last name from The Simpsons. That's impressive.
Mo Sislak.
Mo Sislak.
Pretty known, but yeah.
Okay, maybe it is more known than I
we'll
thought.
come back. We got some audio from Ben talking about it.
We'll hear what Ben has to say about that. Hit the like button.
We'll come back.
We'll come back. But first, shout out to our friends at Bet365. Never ordinary at Bet365. Let's talk about the Sunday night $365,000 jackpot, Gregory. You place a $10 bet on the first touchdown score, and you get a split of the $365K in bonus bets if your player scores the final touchdown of the game. That's payable regardless of their first touchdown score, bet wins or loses. Okay, you got that? I think you do. Bottom line, get yourself involved in the Sunday night jackpot. It is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and use the code CHGOs365 when you sign up. Breaking news, when you deposit $10, Place a bet for $5. You get $150 in bonus bets when your bet wins, loses, ties, whatever. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, never ordinary. Bet 365. You have to be 21 or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, in-app only.
Yeah, and when you're watching Sunday Night Football with the Bucks and Rams and winning money off Bet365, I hope you're cooking yourself some Omaha steaks because they are as good as it gets. That's right, Luke Stuckmeyer. They are handcrafted steaks and delicious for all meals all the time. Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. Nothing I love more. I know Steven same way. Nothing better than a good steak. Enjoy USDA certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy and convenient comfort meals, plus tailgating favorites like chicken wings, smash burgers, and big deli style franks. That's about as good as it gets. And now during their red hot sale event, you can get 50% off site wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code BEARS at checkout. So get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks at omahasteaks.com for 50% off. And make sure you use promo code BEARS for an extra $35 off. See site for details.
Just for my guy Donnie, the GOAT himself, how do I like my steak cooked? I'm actually, it's not sexy.
Oh, here we go.
Don't do it.
This could be a derailment.
What are you about to say?
No, I'm a medium guy. I'm a medium guy.
Medium rare is correct, but I'll accept
medium rare is the only way to cook your steak.
Nah.
Hoge?
Yes, correct.
Correct. I mean,
but I do agree that Carm is a medium guy.
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
Why don't you go rare plus? Nick Wright would tell you, our guy, he'd be like, if anybody with any real stuff, you go rare plus. Just a little
Mr.
a little heat on
Mr.
there.
National Media guy.
That's right.
If it bleeds, it leads.
You're the big time money guys. They're rare plus guys. Oh, rare plus.
We talked about this on Sunday though, and your thing was that you don't like when it's cold. Well, if you're getting a cold medium rare steak, they're not cooking it right.
Look, I like a good. I want the juices in there, but I want, I need a little bit of a flame on that thing.
You might as well be eating your shoe if you're gonna eat it medium.
That would be medium well, or well done. Medium that's the general stance. But okay, nobody's here for that. What we are here is for Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson, who after tremendous detective work by Braggs, just scrolling Instagram like a madman looking for any information, and then he came up with it that he's ready to go. And look at you, ahead of the curve. So, but let's hear what Ben has to say about Kyler and Jalen.
With Kyler and Jalen, how do you keep your tabs on their readiness in the coming weeks, or do you just rely on support staff to let you know when they're going to be?
Yeah, we have a plan. We have a plan in place. It's something that we've had a lot of trust in the support staff, just like you mentioned, between the training room and then our sports science department. We'll make sure that we're acclimating them properly, and last thing we want to do is put a player in a spot where he could potentially hurt himself again. So we'll be very smart about that. But at the same time, I know that they want to be out there, and they're pushing hard to be game ready, whether that's this week or not. But we're doing all of our due diligence to make sure we're smart about it.
Does the depth that you have at that position, though, in the secondary give you maybe a little bit longer of a leash before activating those guys, potentially the need to not feel to rush them back?
Well, I mean, we feel good about the depth in all of our positions, and we've been saying all along, guys that are on the practice squad to guys that were special teamers to start the season, whenever their number gets called and we need to count on them for however long we need to count on them, they need to be ready. And so I think that's been an example of that. I think we've had some good play there in the back end. McLeod's been a guy that comes to mind. He goes out there and he battles every single nickel, outside corner. I'm really proud of what he's been able to put on tape, and he just competes his tail off. And so, yeah.
All right, so there's Ben with a little two-parter there. He says he has a plan. You want to give us a idea of what that plan might exactly be?
Well, I didn't come up with a plan.
Give us a plan, Hoge.
What's the plan?
The plan is to work these guys back in a way that you can get your two like I saw a comment earlier on the screen about how the Bears have the fifth highest paid defense. They're not getting enough out of them. Well, yeah, when your two of your highest paid players, Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon, aren't on the field, it's not going to look as good. So you got to get these guys healthy and on the field, but you can't force it, especially in this weather. It's getting colder. They're out there outside practicing in the cold. Basically every game the rest of the way, except for in San Francisco, right, will essentially be a cold weather game. So you got to be careful with this stuff. I as much as I want these guys to come back, I want to make sure when they do come back, it's for the rest of the season. And also when they talk about plan, and I would say this applies especially to Kyler Gordon, like this needs to be a bigger plan here, and that these soft tissue injuries don't keep happening even beyond this season, but just this season, but way beyond, and that they get this figured out in the off season as well.
See, that's what the follow-up question would be. Well, boy, what's the big plan? Because the dude that you pay the most money of any slot corner in the NFL, he needs a big plan to make the plan that you paid him work out.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. I completely agree. And it's interesting, when he talked about, okay, we feel good about the depth. It feels like a lot of Bears fans pick on Nashawn Wright because he's not Jalen Johnson, right? But like at the same time,
dude's had a good year.
He's had a great year. He's like second in the league in interceptions, and it's a tall order to ask a guy that should have been your third or fourth best corner to now be, covering your top guy at times. Even Tyreek Stevenson's had injuries. So, it's the pass rush that needs to step up their game here in these last 7. The secondary is doing everything they can to hold on for dear life.
Yeah, this is not to me an attack on Jalen in any way, because I love Jalen and I can't wait to get Jalen back on the field. And I think he's been a huge credit to the Bears for the minute he stepped in at Halas Hall. However, Jalen has not had a pick as good as Nashawn Wright's pick in his entire career that he made this past week. That catch was ridiculous. That was an unbelievable play. So they're actually dealing, and I don't think I'm saying anything that people don't realize, but they're dealing from a position of strength. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is playing well. Nashawn Wright is playing well. They don't need to rush these guys back, and I'm sure when Jalen plays, he'll want to play every snap. But if they want to somehow rotate in and out to not put the entire load of a game on them, they can do that, I think, with some big-time level of confidence. Yeah. Right, Hoge?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Like, I feel like, look, if they're ready to go, they're ready to go, and I want them out there on the field. So I'm gonna trust that plan. But yeah, now we're kind of talking in circles. Everybody wants the same thing here. In terms of Nashawn Wright, I mean, if anybody's criticizing Nashawn Wright, it's one of the best stories in the entire league this year. Guy was a former third-round pick who was basically considered a bust. This would be like, I'm trying to think of an equivalent, but it would be like if Velus Jones Jr. all of a sudden became a starter for a whole year and was, second in the league in receiving, or maybe not that high, but, leads the league in return touchdowns or something like this. As a former third pick who was cast off from the team that drafted him, was in Minnesota last year, on the practice squad, barely played, and now he's second in the league in interceptions. It's an incredible story. I mean, we don't have to make more out of it than it is. Is he Jalen Johnson? No. He's not supposed to be Jalen Johnson. He's done a phenomenal job filling in for Jalen Johnson all season.
Yeah, and so when we're talking about, like, what is the plan, I do think, as I tee this up, for what he talked about with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I did think that kind of did peek behind the curtain on when these guys are healthy, what the plan will be and how this will all shake out, including C.J., who's a guy that's making a lot of plans.
Play it.
Kyler's window opening, what do you sort of anticipate shaking out the nickel, and has CJ done enough that you want to get both those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think CJ is definitely a playmaker, and so he's a guy that we're going to want on the field. And when we feel good about Kyler being ready, we'll make sure we have a good plan in place in terms of how we set that up.
Hit the like button for the plan. What the hell's the plan with this one there, Hoke? How are they going to play them both?
Well, I think the way I read in all this is you can ease these guys back on the field, so you can manage their rep counts. You don't need Jalen or Kyler to play 100% of the snaps right away, because you have the ability to either just rotate CJ Gardner-Johnson and Kyler, or kick CJ out to the outside if you want to. Go to a dime package that you haven't used as much as you did earlier in the year, where you leave him on the field as like a third safety. I brought this up last week with the way the Vikings keep Josh Metellus on the field 100% of the snaps, but basically use him in 3 different positions. CJ Gardner-Johnson has that versatility. So I think this depth gives you the opportunity to ease them back a little bit. And perhaps when they do come back, whether it's this week or next week or the week after that, you put them on a pitch count.
Should be interesting.
I mean, Bochanton agrees. He sees 3 safeties out there. Dime package to the Super Bowl, Hoge. What do you think? Bears dime Super Bowl 2025, Ben Johnson. By the way, little peek behind the scenes because you're not here today. Greg, I don't know how much you're willing to talk about this, but he's not sleeping because all he's thinking about is the Bears and like that they're 7-3 and that
I am like my stress.
I saw your Twitter account last night. I'm well aware of the amount it is taking your brain away from other things in the world.
Why don't you speak to it? Let's hear what's going on.
It's just I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. First place for the first time since 2018 at this point in the season. And so, yes, now it has taken over my every thought. Anything I do, all I think about is Sunday now. All I think about is game day. I'm so stressed out because I want them to win so badly. And so it's just dominating my life right now. And it's exciting and it's terrifying. I want to celebrate. I also want to throw up. It's just one of those things right now. I mean, before the season, I said, if you told me before the season they're going to win 9 games, I would have taken it. But now they're 7-3 and they're in first place. And so like 9 wins, I'm going to be jumping off the balcony here. So like I need more.
10 needs to be the minimum now.
Right. The expectations have now raised, right, Hoge? Like
Yes.
10 is the minimum, but I still don't think they've reached the have to make the playoffs or bust level yet. But like if they win this game now, then it reaches they have to make the playoffs or the season's a failure, only because of the context of where we're at now in the year. I wouldn't have said that before the year. But like now they can't win 9 games because that's 2-5 the rest of the way. They win this one, they can't miss the playoffs. I'm just stressed out.
Hit the like button for Brad's being stressed out and just let him know that it's all going to be okay, even though it might not be okay. But at the end of the day, it'll be okay. And
this is why I'm happy to be we're partnering up with Rhythm here.
Yeah,
because Rhythm will help me mellow out at the end of the night.
Rhythm is a dancer.
Yeah.
At the tailgate, Senorita. It's going to be awesome.
Senorita, Margarita.
Hoge,
what I need.
Can you provide any wisdom on? I mean, this is the beauty.
Look. I mean, enjoy the Purdue basketball games. That'll help take your mind off it.
That's true. Thank you.
I enjoyed Connor Bedard's hat trick last night. Other things that can take your mind off the stress. This is one of the worst things about football, though, when you're this invested and there's only 1 game a week. I feel you.
Thank you. Yeah, but you're right. Purdue plays tomorrow and Friday potentially. So I don't get to meet Penny Hardaway because I thought it was going to be at Mackey. It's in the Bahamas. Nobody sent me to the Bahamas.
I don't know why you won't go to the Bahamas. Why wouldn't you?
I should have.
At the risk of going too far, as I tend to do every now and then, what I would recommend for you, Gregory, is intimacy. I think some good intimacy for you. That's a natural. There's really not a whole lot to think about in those moments. Like that's. I mean, you can, but intimacy.
Jenny, if you're watching, call off work early, babe. I'll be home soon.
I think it's a good strategy. Hit the like button for intimacy. We all need some intimacy.
Hoge, get to the practice field. Give me the updates on how Kyler and Jalen look. We also need to know about TJ Edwards. I'll figure out what Bears Twitter has to threaten you to figure out getting us information for this week. But we need some information. I need to know how these guys look.
Okay, that was about the weirdest ending to one of these segments. But I'll do my best, guys. I feel like I'm haunted the rest of the day.
Donnie's got it. Couples massage. That's a great move. There's some great opportunities out there for you with that.
That sounds like.
I'm going to let you go, Hoge. You could get out there.
What about like a Halas Hall couples massage? Hoge and Johns with a private room up there with a special Bears trainer. They could like talk about the next pod as they get ready to go. By the way, Hoge, you coming to recreational basketball tomorrow night?
Sure.
Great.
What, in Lincolnshire?
Yeah. I'm making my debut.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Let's
go.
go. Let's go.
Make some bad decisions. We'll make some bad decisions together.
Yes, it'll be great. I'll be, but just I need distractions too. All right.
Bye, guys.
But first.
Hey, I'm very excited to announce that our friends over at Senorita are going to be at the tailgate this Sunday for Bears Steelers. The house is going to be rocking at the corner of Wabash and Cermak, and you, my friend, can try out some Senorita THC margaritas. Senorita is the full flavors THC margarita that's rewriting the rules for happy hour. Crafted by wine industry experts, Senorita blends real fruit juice, organic Mexican agave, and a hint of pink salt for award-winning taste. You can do the 5 milligram or 10 milligram for fast-acting THC. Every can delivers a smooth social buzz without the hangover. It's as good as it gets. So if you want to try it now, it's in your Chicagoland retail dealers, and also use the QR code on your screen for 20% off your first order with code CHGO. Again, scan that QR code, but you can also try retailers like Binny's or order with DoorDash. Must be 21 or older. Please enjoy responsibly.
And a shout out to our friends at Mac Weldon, from the gym to work to a night out to crushing leaves in the backyard in the region. You want that stylish, comfortable feeling look.
Absolutely.
You do. You got to look good in the neighborhood, baby. Explore shirts, shorts, hoodies, all of it. MacWeldon.com. And yes, of course, we're hooking you up. 20% off your first order of $125 or more with the code CHGO. Look, just go next level yourself. Walk in with confidence when you put on the Mac Weldon. Get breathless clothes that make you feel comfortable. Whatever you're doing, MacWeldon.com. That is MacWeldon.com. The promo code is CHGO. That's right. Mac Weldon makes you feel good, look good. Date night never looks so good. Look at the way the ad break just comes back together with the Senorita and the looking good and the intimacy. Everything's just flowing on the show in ways that I just didn't think was possible. Good to see you, by the way.
Everything's flowing.
Feel
the flow.
Excellent word choice. There's breaking news from the NFL that I'll hold because we have a very tight segment here to do. So let's go back to Ben Johnson because we don't want to short Ben Johnson, right, Greg?
Absolutely.
Right.
The
Steven.
headline of our show is about Tomlin versus Ben here.
All right, so let's hear what Ben had to say about Mike Tomlin, who is one of the best.
The fact that he hadn't had a losing season, right? I mean, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible to think that he's been a head coach as long as he has and just keeps churning out wins. I mean, he sets the bar very high, and nothing but respect for him, how he goes about his business. He holds his players accountable. I think you saw it even this week, with some of the quotes talking about a player getting spit at and his reaction to it. I mean, he's 100% right as far as I'm concerned. I think he hit the nail on the head. And he just keeps it real and authentic at all times. So the players respect that. You can tell that they play hard. The film's always the resume of a coach is how I feel. And when his players are playing as hard and consistent as they do for as long as he's been doing it, I think that's a huge credit to him.
So big time props, and also just leaning into like player love right there. Like, dude spits on you, you have a reaction to that, you get suspended. Ben Johnson's going to be cool with it with the Bears too because these guys are human beings that he's coaching out there.
Yeah.
But the question leading into that cut was what impressed you most about him, and he's like, hey, the dude's never had a losing season.
It's crazy.
Holds his players accountable. I just like that the Bears coach can speak well about another coach and also want to mimic a lot of the things that he does right there.
Well,
it's good for the Bears.
Dan Wiederer put out this thing a couple days ago where it listed when the Bears had reached their 7th win over like the last 20 years. And there was a few years there in like 2014, 15, 16, 17 where it's like no answer. And I was like, why does it say no? Oh, that's right. They never got to 7 wins. It's like, but then the other thing that stood out about this list was that in the Lovey years, they got to it every year. And most of the time, more times than not, it was in November. And, obviously with the Club W year, the last time the Bears, had a pulse, that they actually were like 2 days off from when they hit their 7th win to this year. So I think there is some symmetry there. Whereas Mike Tomlin every year consistently gets to that winning record. And so you just hope that, whether it's Mike Ditka, who you grew up with, or Lovie Smith, who, for a lot of us is big reason of, the love we have for the Bears and the fonder memories of a good team, that Ben Johnson is now going to carry this, where this isn't just a flash in the pan with fake Matt Nagy in the chat and 1 year of happiness.
You're consistent, Nagy. You're not a flash.
This is something about consistency here going forward for Ben Johnson.
Thank you for not saying that I grew up with Halas. And shout out to you, Mr. Jabberwocky777. You'd be nuts not to be a coach and not admire Tomlin. That's a very fair point. But like, can you imagine, like, hey, Matt Eberflus, what do you think about Mike Tomlin? Well, it's a good coach, right?
Well, and talk about spoiled. I mean, there's Steelers fans that want to run him out of town every year.
Good luck with that.
They go through this cycle every year with him.
Good luck with that.
They don't know what real pain is in Pittsburgh. Yeah. They have no idea.
Hit the like button for real pain. All right.
Speaking of people that have given us real pain.
Yeah. What did he have to say about Aaron Rodgers? Great lead-in.
Well, I'm not playing, so I'm okay. But I've got a lot of respect for Aaron Rodgers. He's done this at a high level for an incredible amount of time, and if he's ready to go this week, would love nothing more to compete against him.
That's right. We would love nothing more than to compete against him. Let's go, 12. Bring it on.
Great guy, great player. Put nothing on that bulletin board. Don't make him mad.
I mean, I can read between the lines there. Aaron, was phenomenal back in there. Now he can't move, and we'd love to kick his ass. How's that? That's what he actually said. Did you hear that right? I thought that's what I heard.
When we did, last time I was talking with Briggs on Brick by Brick, I was asking him about Rodgers, and he was like, "Oh, he's frail," and I was like, all right, let's calm down with the shooting shots at Rodgers. Like, I don't know if I'm at the point yet where I'm brave enough to start talking smack to Rodgers. Let's beat him first.
Yeah, well.
25-5 in his career against the Chicago Bears.
Hey, I smell 25-6. Let's go, Aaron. You want to play?
Hey, you brought up the stat about Aaron Jones beating us up, and we beat him here last week. Not on the Packers anymore. Now you got 25-5 Aaron Rodgers going up against the Bears, but he's not on the Packers.
It's time to slay the dragon, send him off on the wrong note for his the end of his career, and the right note for Bears and Ben Johnson moving forward.
Yeah, the most wins against any singular team of any quarterback in the league is Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears. Current.
Yeah, I think the record is Tom Brady versus the Bills, I want to say.
Yeah, and then right now the active quarterbacks is Rodgers versus Chicago.
Nothing better than slaying the dragon. Why don't we get to our final comment from Ben today, which is on Luther Burden. The Luther Burden arrival has happened, and the snap counts are rising.
Yeah, I mean, everybody called for it a couple weeks ago with Olamide and all the drops. Well, Ben heard what you were putting out there, because 10 snaps for Olamide and Luther Burden taking over that role.
Take that, Olamide. Here's Ben on Luther.
Poor Olamide.
Well, I think it's you get what you earn, and I think he's earned the increased snaps. It's something we evaluate each week. What does practice look like? How are these guys through the course of the week? Are they making plays or not? And he's steadily climbed. it's the route running detail that's showing up, the consistency and making sure his alignments are right, his assignments. He's doing a real good job with that, and it's a credit to the receiving room. The vets are showing him the way, and then Randall L. and Robbie Picasso, they do a great job meeting with him and making sure he knows what he has going on, and so he understands that. And as a young rookie, I think he's progressing nicely.
You do always want to be aligned right, and it's always great if you can start out with the vet showing you the way.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, Luther Burden is, just insanely talented, and so it's great to see that Ben is talking about not just giving him the reps because of Olamide's drops, but because of how much he trusts Luther Burden now, and that's from where we started at training camp, where he was behind because he was injured, then comes in and he's getting pulled off the field a few times. And now you get to this point and he's going to be budding as this season goes on. Like I don't think has shown his full potential, just like Colson Loveland. Like we're still, kind of tapping the surface of what those guys are, their ability.
Yeah. And if you want to dream it big this year, Luther ascending as far as he's ascended in the first 10 games in the last 7 and being that level of a threat, if you can picture from where he was to where he is now to where he could go, that would be a huge deal. So shout out Luther for putting in the work and getting it done, and Caleb too, bringing him along, and everybody else who's helped him. All right, the breaking NFL news, which I'm probably oversold, but I think it's, and you're going to now, all of you will yell at me, but
after the break.
All right, but first.
Hey, listen, guys, if you've been tuned into this program for the last month, you know that Monarch Money is the place that helped me figure out my finances when I had to buy a new car. That's right. We got a brand new car. Jenny drives around. She doesn't trust me with the new car.
You wouldn't be able to afford that sweet hoodie without Monarch. Honestly.
That's correct. Or the car. And the only people we could trust were Monarch Money to get our financials in order to figure that out. Greg crashes a car. Monarch Money bails me out. Because if you want to feel organized and confident in your finances, you go to Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface, whether it's on your laptop or on your phone. You put it all in there. They organize it. Now you know what you can spend. And just for our listeners right now, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code CHGO at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code CHGO.
No. Yep, we're talking about Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile. Oh, it's like so delicious to be doing your wireless with Mint Mobile. If you're overpaying for wireless,
delicious.
It's time to start saying yes to saying no. You know it. You love it. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS, no incompletions, no missed blocks. Mint Mobile. That's what they do. Look, right now, all you got to do, if you're ready to say yes to saying no, make the switch to mintmobile.com/CHGO. That's mintmobile.com/CHGO. $15 a month. That is it. $15 a month. Upfront payment of $45 required for the first 3 months. This is a limited time new customer offer for those first 3 months. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. Taxes and fees are extra. Do it. Mintmobile.com for details. No. Yes. Potentially. That's weird. Let me try this again. Carm breaking news via Pro Football Talk, via Gary Ross, who clued me into it. Headline: NFL monitors return of supersonic flight for potential European expansion. This is the greatest thing ever. They write, for 25 years, the Concorde slashed travel time from the United States to Europe. Nearly 25 years ago, the Concorde was permanently grounded. But there's efforts to bring it back currently. Boom Supersonic and other countries are working on a potential return of passenger flights that can fly faster than the speed of sound, and the technology can return till 2029. So this is why I'm bringing it up. Because if this team has not crossed the barrier by 2029 and has not won a Super Bowl
Before they have supersonic planes.
and they haven't figured out the stadium by then, we might as well we might consider the Bears to Europe. Well, I'm gonna if the shovels are not in the ground by 2029, Kevin Warren, I'm putting Europe on the table.
Well, I think I did see that. I think the NFL is set to announce that there will be a game in Paris. I think I saw that, unless that was like fake news that I read, and maybe it's not true. If that's the case, I just brought it to this fine program. But I do believe they're intending on playing a game in Paris here coming up.
We'd go to Paris.
I love Paris was awesome, so I would love to go back there. But my prediction is that the Bears are going to play in Spain. But with my
Which would be amazing.
Yeah, I think the Bears are going to play in Spain next year, so start planning accordingly. But my fear of flying, it's gotten a little better now that we fly a little more than I normally would have before this job, but not great, especially when we went to Vegas and the turbulence we had to
that was
go
a bad
through.
flight.
That was a bad flight.
You were great to London. I still remember Jenny showing up in the London Heathrow Airport and tying your shoe before the flight. The two of you that was amazingly adorable.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I don't know if I can handle a supersonic flight. Is all I'm getting to there.
Sounds amazing. You kidding? Be there in 2 minutes.
It sounds sounds terrifying.
Yes. Do your no.
All right, let's get into this because we're kind of workshopping this here a little bit. And trying to spread our wings during the week and integrate the fans and your guys' voice a little more. So I challenged our Discord and I challenged Bears Twitter to a little bit of your best meatball takes. Do we have the meat thermometer, the meat check?
What? I will find that and I will get that, but let's do a couple first while I do that.
I think it's down there. Go get it. Where is it? What do you mean find it?
Down where?
I thought it was in the thing.
Someone deleted it from.
It's not in the thing.
I'll get it.
All
right. Definitely not in the thing.
All right, so we're workshopping this segment, but let's bring some different takes. I challenge people to give me their best meatball take of the week, and I want you guys to work on this too. It's not always like you don't have to focus on the prediction, and I'll give you guys some examples as it goes. But let's get through some of these because I have some meatball takes of this week. Obviously, I've already had one with Cairo, but Eli Cheesem. At Eli Cheese 18 says Al Harris is the second best hire behind Ben Johnson on the Chicago Bears. It's interesting.
I wouldn't even say that's meatball-y. That's just a sort of an upgrade for Al Harris. But if you were going to go number 2 on the coaching staff, you could certainly say Dennis Allen. You could make an argument if you want. Not many people would do it, but you could throw Declan Doyle in there.
Yeah, Dan Rochar.
Dan Rochar's in there.
You're talking about top 5 pass protection and number 2 rushing offense in football. Dan Rochar, I think, is extremely underrated.
Antoine Randall-L's in there.
Randall-L. Look at but Al Harris. Obviously, the turnovers have been unbelievable this year.
So
the interceptions.
Why don't we start naming the Matt Eberflus coaching staff that he hired? From Alan Williams, who was that weird running backs coach that did whatever he did and got himself fired?
I don't remember.
That guy was horrible. Whatever. How many coaches were fired during the Eberflus thing?
Quite a few.
I think it was 8.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, the thing that I loved about Ben the most is, and he said this at one point, a lot of people when they get these opportunities, they hire their friends. Ben didn't do that. He went out and got. Did his research and found the best guys that he thought that could help him win.
Chad Morton was the one that they hyped up on Hard Knocks, right?
I liked that guy. That was and I also liked Janoko too, but that was the other thing. They didn't know who was good and who wasn't good. I'm talking. There was a different one that.
You got Eric.
I'll find it.
Eric Bieniemy, is certainly
love it. I love
with the run game.
EB, let's go.
So. Let's go through some of the different examples and then we'll finish with our thing. Here
you rushed me to get it.
All right, then let's play it.
I'm playing it.
We're taking the temp on meatball takes of the week.
David Walker.
And we are taking the temp always with our good friends over at 4 Seasons. Always, every day. We appreciate 4 Seasons for their fine support to this program. They are
The best.
I mean, honestly, if you're looking for a new hot water tank, you make sure you hit up Four Seasons. If you got anything that you're looking for, you always got to hit up Four Seasons this time of year because
visit Four Seasons heatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons as we take the temp. That's Four Seasons heatingcooling.com.
That's right.
Proper love here.
Yeah, taking the temp. What? Full meatball mode.
Stop being dumb.
Oh, my God.
What better way to take the temp than with a meat check?
Yeah, exactly right. I like that. We haven't had that in a long time. That felt good.
I think we've used it. This is probably the second time we've ever used that. Shout out to Joey Spathis who made that.
Way to go, Joey.
Miss you, Joey. All right, well, let's keep taking the temp then with some of these guys and some of their meatball takes that are medium rare. Always, we got Mr. Medium over here. Our guy, Jonathan Otten,
J.O.
fan of the year. He had a few different thoughts here, but he says Bears get sweet and overdue revenge on Aaron Rodgers. Bears celebrate each sack and turnover with the discount double check. But this is where I thought the meatball check came in. Said, then George McCaskey is given a game ball after Bears win for actually owning the team with George instead of Aaron Rodgers owning the team. So that was the reason I brought this in here is I think when you talk about meatball takes of the week, I've seen a lot of fans going at Kevin Warren for getting the game ball last week. And I understand Kevin Warren is the low-hanging fruit, and everybody just wants to attack him no matter what he does until he gets a stadium, and I get that. I'm all for, criticizing Kevin Warren properly. But Ben Johnson is the one that gave Kevin Warren the game ball for his birthday. I don't really think that Kevin Warren, I don't really think there's anything there to pick on him about. I've seen some people say, oh, he should be out of the picture there. No, Ben gave him the game ball. That wasn't his decision. Leave Kevin alone. Let him have the game ball. It was his birthday.
Okay, I mean, this is not – I don't want to get in a big discussion on this, but I will push back a little bit just because he's a grown man. It's his birthday. He gets a game ball.
Ben gave it to him. It wasn't like Kevin –
Ben was told to give it to him. There's no way –
But you can't prove that is my point. You cannot prove that. So if that's your take, that's fine.
I can prove it. But it can
you
be proven.
Can prove it.
It can be proven. I will work on finding out proof on Friday when I get in the room there. But I guarantee you,
he was standing a little too close by.
He's too front and center on these things. He's too follow me around and watch me wash my car and do. I'm
not disagreeing with any of that, but I'm not going to buy that Ben wasn't just being a nice guy to the guy that gave him $13.5 million. And said, "Here's a game ball for your birthday."
All right, and look, I don't think this should keep anybody up at night at all. But let me just ask you this, and then we'll move from this. If you were a Bears player that had a great game on Sunday, and you had Nahshon Wright, all right,
get a game ball.
All right, and Nahshon Wright's his personality is not the type. But put your personality on top of Nahshon Wright, and you had that game. You made that incredible catch, and they handed the game ball to the guy in the suit who can't get the stadium built. You tell me you're not pissed? You might be just a little bit pissed.
And that's fine to be pissed. I'm just saying that I don't buy that Kevin orchestrated this. Ben gave him the ball, so quit picking on Kevin. He didn't ask for the ball. He didn't run in the middle of the huddle and say, "Give me the game ball. It's my birthday." Ben gave him the ball. So leave him alone for one day.
Okay, great. That's fine.
But you're more than welcome to be hard on him because of the stadium. 100%.
How's this? It'll never happen again. That's the one game ball he's getting for the entire time that Ben Johnson's
until
here.
They win the Super Bowl.
He doesn't deserve it then either. That goes to George.
Gary Ross here, bringing a meatball take, saying Cairo will win the Bears 3 more games, and Greg will finally trust him. You know what, Gary? If he wins us 3 more games this season, I will lay down my sword.
Hopefully he won't need to win us 3 more games. The Bears are just going to play a more complete football game. But, look, if Cairo's lining up from 43 yards out, I'm going to be betting it's going in. Now from 56, I'll be a little nervous.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think we got one more here.
There was a really good one in the chat that brought up, Carm, you want to talk about your Pete Carroll take, which that's a good reminder when we were going through all the coaching things. I'm like, I wouldn't mind Pete Carroll.
Yeah, and
I might have
had a Belichick thought here and there that was stupid as well. But we don't have to talk about those. What we do want to talk about is becoming a diehard here at CHGO Sports. Head to allchgo.com/diehard. Make sure you use the code JOHNS, JAHNS, for $36 for the entire year. And you can definitely sign up. Hit the QR code here on the screen or head to allchgo.com/diehard when you sign up. We appreciate that.
I see your mom in the chat. Barb, we've missed you. I've missed you. And Greg wants to say something nice to his mom.
Yeah. He says Greg was 2 months old when the Bears won the Super Bowl. Might be talking a little Super Bowl tomorrow as we have reached overtime here on CHGO Sports. We got to head out here real quick. We did have one more meatball take that I had to bring to the table here, unless we're going to shelf it for tomorrow. But real quick here as we're doing the meat check, this was insane to me. This was in our comments on YouTube a couple days ago, and sorry we couldn't get more to these, but we got a quick out. Blackhawks coming up here. CHGO Blackhawks coming up here in 30 minutes, and Connor Bedard is on fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Hat trick.
But our guy Damian Burton put this in our YouTube comments 2 days ago and was going at me about whether or not you want to play Rodgers or playoffs. And he says this: confused why Braggs wants a playoff game more than facing the man that literally humiliated us on national TV. Give me a victory, Damian Burton says, over Aaron Rodgers, over a playoff win any day.
Oof.
You win or lose one playoff game, no one really cares unless you win a Super Bowl. You can try again next year. You beat Aaron Rodgers in his last game at Soldier Field. That'll last forever. And that, when you talk about, I'm a meatball. I'm a proud meatball. That is a level of meatball I cannot reach. Like, that's pinnacle meatball. I want to be in the playoffs, guys, and I would love nothing more than to beat Aaron Rodgers along that path. But if you're asking me either or, what do I want more, to make the playoffs or to beat Aaron Rodgers? I want to make the playoffs. I do not care about Aaron Rodgers anymore. He is in the AFC, and we got to deal with him here on Sunday. And outside of that, I'm worried about the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. I'm more concerned about Jordan Love right now than I am about Aaron Rodgers, aside from what we got to do here this Sunday and whether or not he's going to play, which I still don't even think Aaron Rodgers is going to play. So, Damian, I respect it. I respect the meatball, but that is an insane statement to me.
Damian, you just want to have your cake and eat it too. That's what you're getting at, so I respect that. We got to go.
We got a couple super chats before you get to your final notes here.
2 super chats plus a shout out to my guy Kenny, who said hello to me at the Metro the other day. I was about to go to what's that cookie store that everybody goes to?
Crumble?
Not Crumble. Old school.
Insomnia?
No, old school. Mrs. Fields. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay Zawaski. Blackhawks coming up at 2:30. I was in line at Mrs. Fields to get a milkshake that I didn't need to have, and this guy and Carrie talked to me for 30 minutes to the point that my train was ready, and I didn't have it. So,
did she
Carrie,
get benched for Tyrod Taylor?
Do what?
Nothing. It's a Jets joke. It's a Justin Fields joke. I'm kidding. Philip J. Fry, $5 super chat. New drink, dubbing it the Bear Down. Shot of Malort dropped into a room temperature glass of Old Style. Do it on air if they make the playoffs.
Done. We got you.
You got you. And
Nico, $20 from Nico. Nico Suave, you're the man. Saw you in the comments a ton today. Flying out again from New Mexico with someone who's a Steelers fan. She came with me last time, but this time she's going to actually wear her team's gear and not Bears gear. A thumbs down on that, and we're going to the tailgate. So give her hell. Oh, wow. We'll see you on Sunday, Nico.
See you on Sunday.
She can wear her Steelers stuff. That's allowed, man. It's allowed. You be the fan of whoever you want to be a fan of, unless this guy wants to say you can't wear your Steelers stuff. You want to say that?
No, she can wear it.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're a friendly tailgate, man.
I might push her over.
We're a friendly tailgate.
Can't wear a Rodgers Steelers jersey. That would be the rule.
That would be a little painful. Hey, thank you to Hoge out there in Halas Land today. Tomorrow on the show, Gary Fensick, the Hitman's going to be on as we'll preview the upcoming Shuffle movie.
X's and Hogs.
X's and Hogs tomorrow. Adam Johns tomorrow. Be here tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Have a great rest of your day.
We all silly like the mayor.